The Prophet of Thought series.
Welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series right here on the old YouTube T.P.O.T network. What's good, everybody? Glad you're here. Tonight, for y'all tonight, we are going to be joined by Brother BlackRam313. Those of you who may not know who Brother BlackRam313 is, much to be by three, I don't want to say three, I don't want to say the 313. In fact, if you want to know who BlackRam313 is, all you gotta do is listen to this here.
This is therapeutic, man.
Y'all know who I'm talking about now. Yeah, this brother, I have admired his work for a very, very long time. He agreed to come on tonight. I know he had his own what's up, everybody? What's up, TP? I see you in the house. What's up, brother Donnell? What's good? My brother Black Ram's work for quite some time. When you think red pill, brother Black Ram is definitely it. Learned a lot from him. Him come on tonight, and I'm going to have him explain what IBMOR is. I know what it's the acronym for, but I'm going to let him go ahead and explain it to my viewers himself. He did a live stream early, and I think he just stopped a little while ago. So up until the time he jumps on, we will always do. I get up here, run my mouth, as usual. As usual, I just get up here and run my mouth. That till brother Black Ram comes on. Also, I think brother Valdez might be stopping through as well. Also, I do the master teacher B.G.S. He might be stopping through too. So I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting for the brothers to come on. But before we get started, one of the main reasons why I wanted him to come on, because I admire his work and I wanted him to, speak to my audience. But one of the main reasons why I wanted him to come on is because I wanted to discuss, some of this stuff, man, with some of these channels going down. Because, here we go again with that, y'all. The channels being knocked down. And just, it's people say it's due to the gender wars, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. But I believe that there's just a lot of nonsense out there, man. There's a lot of nonsense and BS going on out there, and people, for whatever reason, man, they take great issue because I know they knocked one of Valdez's channels off as well. I mean, Valdez been rocking out for a minute. And actually I was talking to Brother Valdez the other day via text message, and we was chopping it up about it. And I told him, I was like, damn, man, I went to, catch up on, some of your stuff. And I went to look at the channel and it was gone. This is crazy, man. So I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. I understand, from listening to Brother BlackRam stuff, you know, some heat over his channels and stuff too. So I mean, I'll say again, here we go again, y'all, with this BS. You know, if it ain't Google, or YouTube jumping on you for the things you say, you got to worry about the troglodytes out there that don't want you to, get your message across. So, but I want to tell everybody, I found a site called BitChute. Actually pretty decent. It's just like YouTube. So I found that. I started an account on that, and their claim to fame is that it's spelled BICHUTE. I know I'm probably saying it wrong, but y'all need to check that out because they have pretty much a scenario just like YouTube. You can monetize your videos, upload your videos, monetize them, put tags on them, and all that kind of stuff. But they really, really sell their speech. So that's something y'all should check out. Like I said, I'll spell it out again. It's called BitChute. I don't know what they call it, but it's spelled BICHUTE. Go to that, and you can put your stuff up there. And hopefully they're not as anal as YouTube, and there's probably less likely chance of you, getting your stuff knocked down, as you say, you know. So just something to think about, y'all. Cause I happened to discover it. Somebody told me about it, and I went up there, and I also called VidMe, but that one is, I don't know, it's kind of funny, man. Like, it don't have work, and it won't let you upload, and all some kind of nonsense. So I don't I don't know what's good with that one, but I mean, there's some other platforms out there, man. Um, if you have your own website, you probably want to start putting some of your stuff up on that as well. I'll say this: if you if you have a page and you say certain things, and those certain things cause your channel to get knocked off, there's a pretty good chance that if you make a backup channel and you're saying the same thing, it's probably just a matter of time before that channel gets knocked off too. I said, I mean, it's definitely time. Well, it's been time. It's been time for brothers like myself. I'll include myself in it too. We need to start putting our material in other places where it can't be taken off, taken down. I know some brothers have Patreon and things of that nature. So a lot of the traffic needs to go. A lot of the traffic needs to go somewhere else because these YouTube streets are rough, brothers. These YouTube streets are rough. So we got to keep that in mind, man, because there's a lot of people out there that don't want to hear, just like there's a lot of people that do want to hear what you have to say. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to hear what you have to say, and they're going to make it their damn business to make sure that just your stuff get knocked off. While everybody else stuff is just playing and everybody's saying whatever they want, they'll focus on that one person or that one group of persons or that one collective of persons and make it so their stuff get knocked off. So we need to keep that in mind, man, because I'll say again, these YouTube streets are rough, man. Streets are rough. I'm trying to wait for the brothers to come through. Okay. I see Brother Black Ram in the chat room. All right, Brother Black Ram, I see you. On in a bit. So go ahead and mod him right quick. Yeah, I'll wait for Brother Black Ram to come on. And like I said, Brother Valdez gonna be here too, because that's my man. I want to find out what went on with his stuff. The master teacher will come through as well. I know we didn't do a live stream. We didn't do a live stream last week, y'all, because you know some stuff was going on. So some stuff was going on. So I couldn't do a live stream last week. But we're gonna try to do a live stream every week. You know, we're gonna try to pick up the pace a little bit. You know, like I always say, you know, we trying to make it bigger, better, and bolder. So we're gonna try to do this more often. You know, we're gonna try. It's just that the brother has a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. Y'all to be mad at me because don't be mad at me because I can't stream every day. Streams are gonna get a little more frequent. You know, they're going to get a little more frequent. You know, it's just that, you know, the past couple of weeks have been really, really busy, you know, at the shop. The shop's been crazy. I've been swamped with work. I've been, you know, I've been trying to keep some material up there for y'all. You know, I've been trying, y'all. I've been trying to keep the material up there for y'all, but it's not easy, man, because I can only do it at night. So when I come up in here at nighttime, I'll be kind of tired. I hit the showers, and after I hit the showers, you know, ain't much happening after that. I just magically end up asleep even when I don't want to be. So I'm just saying. But we're gonna get some stuff. We're gonna get some stuff going and whatnot. Lee was going to open up the phone lines tonight. I still might, you know, depending on how many people come up in here, because I know people probably gonna have some questions for Brother Black Ram. Possibly some questions for me too. So I might open the phone lines later on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I gotta see how it goes. I gotta see how the stream goes. Figure it out. But you like that video, huh? Yeah, I did that a long time ago. I did that a long time ago. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been at least a year or so, I think, when I did that. It's been a while. I did that one night when I was just sitting on my porch and I started thinking, you know, I was watching the people who are walking up and down the street in my neighborhood, and that's what made me think of that. You know, that's usually how a lot of my stuff comes about. I just sit back and think about something, and the next thing you know, I'm making a video out of it. So, what it is. That's kind of how we do it here. You know, that's usually where my ideas come from. You know, I sit back and I think of something, and the next thing you know, it's a video. Yeah, next thing you know, uh-oh, the master teacher's in the house. What's going on, master teacher?
Hey, X, what's going on?
Everybody, the master teacher has arrived. Yeah, I figured I'd send out an invitation to you because I was going to have BlackRam313 up here. He's about to come in a moment.
Okay.
I was just rambling on, running my mouth, you know, as usual.
Yeah, I heard the shop is busy. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
You know,
keep
because
Mama
I'm always telling my listeners that I'm gonna put some stuff up, but master teacher, lots going on, man. Lots going on.
Oh, ain't nothing, no reason to apologize, man. That's a good thing. We pray for
Lots
that kind
going
of stuff.
on. Yeah. So what's been going on with you, master teacher?
Oh, just catching hell from the women because of the last series that I did. So I'm still catching up with the comments and stuff like that. So when I put stuff out like that, I really have to monitor the comments because I get a lot of trolls.
Why? Because of the myth of the white womanhood thing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, they were upset. They are
Wow.
upset. I am persona non grata
Have they
right
been
now.
have they been crowding the B.G.S for women stream, so they can get a chance to take a whack at you?
Not really. No more really when they want to come in, they want to come and argue with the men. So they come in the men's section when they want to troll. I got a few women from the a few women from the on my women's. A lot of women don't know about my women's channel. A lot of women don't know about it.
Okay.
But everybody knows B.G.S Ibmore, so that's where they come. In fact, a
Yeah.
lot of my guys they put some of that stuff up on Facebook, so I get a lot of people coming in from Facebook.
Yeah, well, people sharing your stuff is usually, hey, what's up, cats? I see you. A lot is a double-edged sword. It gives you a lot of exposure, and it also gives you a lot of heat at the same time.
Yeah, especially when it's controversial like that. And normally it takes stuff like this. It takes like a couple of weeks for it to kind of die down.
I see you.
But the biggest one that they actually were commented on, it didn't like, was actually the smallest piece, which was James Earl Jones, and he really didn't say, even though really it's because he was married, his wife was white. It had nothing to do with what he said. Had nothing to do with what the content was. Is that he had a white wife, and that's all they saw, which is something which is what I pointed out. Yeah.
In time that people, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just naive, but by now people would have gotten used, whatever form of it, whether it be black man, white woman, white man. I mean, you would think by now people would have gotten used to, interracial dating and marriages and all that stuff, at least a little bit.
Yeah. Well, X, if it was an Hispanic woman, if it was an Asian woman, if it was any other kind of woman except a white woman, black women wouldn't get upset. But it's a white woman that black women get upset about.
Is it because the is it the myth of Miss Ann? Is it the whole Miss Ann ideology? I mean, is that it's rooted in, isn't it?
Yes, it is gone on. Because at first I thought, okay, because when I first heard because I'd heard of it before, but I never really understood what it was. And then when I first heard it, I said, what is the myth of white womanhood? So I started looking it up. I started looking at the definitions, and I saw the white definition about what the myth of white womanhood, because it's created by white males because they didn't want black men to have access to the women. That's what it's created by them. But the thing is that I didn't know what it meant to black women, and what it meant to black women is a completely different thing. And what's her name? And until I saw what was it, Margot Jefferson's explanation of white woman, then I actually understood what they were actually talking about, and then I could actually go back and going all the way back to Sojourner Truth when she gave the Ain't I a Woman. Without understanding the myth of white womanhood, you can't understand what Sojourner Truth was actually talking about.
Get any better, is it? It's never going to get any better, is it?
Well, until X, how culture works. How traditions work. When they've been passed down for so long, people forget why they were what actually caused them, and people just do it because that's what they've been taught. And a lot of black women just do it, just act emotionally because that's what they've been taught. and they don't even know why it bothers them. That's what I'm saying. That's like when I actually presented in front of them. In fact, I on my women's channel, actually, that's like I'm actually strung all those things together, going back from a speech from Sojourner Truth, talking about Ain't I a Woman, all the way up in 2017, where a black feminist was actually given almost the same speech, using almost the same words. In other words, black women have not examined it. But the thing is, since they haven't examined it, they don't know what's wrong. And you know what the default setting for everything is wrong is who? Is what? You know, black men. If black men would do this, or black women would be better. If black women didn't like white women, if black women didn't like light-skinned women, if black men would take on the white man and overthrow him, and you know, on and on and on. Okay, whatever's wrong with a black woman, it has to be the root of it, as they say, is a black man.
Mm-hmm. No, the default setting for all the society, you know, at least that's,
yep,
that's been a narrative for decades.
That's one thing that'll get you believed. If you know, if no matter who you are, what sex you are, what color you are, if you blame it on the black man, you'll be believed.
Yep. Yep. I had a discussion with my lady today, and we were talking about, you know, because I watch a lot of news on TV. I do a lot of that. Watch a lot of different news, and I was telling her today. I said, you look at the news programs. I said, who do you see? I said, you don't see a lot of black men correspondents, and you see less and less of them, you know, as time goes on. And I said, there's a reason for that. I said, because they don't mind having a black man up there, eminent black man, if he's a homosexual black man. I said, any black man that has any degree of masculinity to him, he won't be on TV long. And I said, the reason why is because masculine man does not sell very well unless it's athletics or sports or, you know, entertainment. And even in some degrees of entertainment, the masculine black man has kind of been shunned for, you know, the more effeminate kind of characters and representations. And I was telling her that today, and you know, she noticed it, you know, that, you know, certain things you see, you know, they're pushing that. They're pushing the masculine black man farther and farther to the margins. And you're more accepted as a black man if you're a homosexual, basically.
Yeah.
So you're more accepted, especially in the mainstream. You're just more accepted.
Yeah, you're threatening. If you're not, you're less threatening.
Yep.
If you're homosexual, or they'd rather have a transgendered spokesperson. They'll accept a man that's as transgender to a woman before they accept a black man with masculinity. Except for certain roles.
You get that's when you get the hyper masculinity, as they refer to it, which I think, I mean, how can that even be a thing? There's no such thing, is there, Master Teacher?
What, hypermasculinity?
Yeah, there's no such thing, right?
Oh, well, hypermasculinity is when it's out of control. So you get that rampaging guy that's actually beating up on people and hurting people and stuff like that. That's hypermasculinity, because it's out of control. Just like anything else, it has to have part of being a man is controlling that masculinity. It has that power has to be just like driving just like driving a big rig. Okay, you have you got tons of horses and tons of weight behind you, you know, at your discretion. But the thing is, it has to be controlled. If not, it's destructive.
Yes.
So you know
Yes.
it's so.
But
Well, you see a lot of hyper masculinity where you see a lack of control. When it's under feminine control, guess what? You have a lot of hyper masculinity that's destructive.
yeah, well, do you believe that sometimes that description
Mm-hmm.
is misplaced at times? Because I've been called hyper masculine just because, you know, I won't put up with, you know, some of the females in my family's crap,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so hyper masculine, you know, just because I won't put up with that nonsense.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but you know where that comes from. In other words, if you're not under their control, then they call it hyper masculine, but not. But when they need you to be in control or you to take over something, then all of a sudden you're not hyper masculine.
yeah, that's where they run to, because they always run to me
Of
when
course,
something manly needs to be done.
man, it needs to be
Because
done. Yeah.
I have a lot of women around me, so you know
Hmm.
they're just full of crap. So they have very little mind.
I,
Little
well,
mind,
I,
very
I, I,
little.
I hold them accountable. I can hold them accountable. Don't come near me if you want. If you ain't got your big girl panties on.
Exactly. That's my take on it. I mean, you know,
Hmm.
because they already know the perspective I'm going to come from. They already
Hmm.
know. I mean, they've been around me, you know, because I have daughters, I have a lady, you know, I have
Hmm.
a stepdaughter, I have sister-in-laws, and you
Hmm.
know,
Oh
they're
yeah.
all around, and you know,
Hmm.
so they know the deal, man. They know.
Yeah, you know, if you don't hold them accountable, the hen house will get out of control.
Oh, absolutely. See, when they ask asking me things, because a lot of times everybody knows I'm a technician, I'm a mechanic, I work on
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
So you know, I have my sister-in-laws, you know, they're like, oh, can you come over and fix this, that, and the other thing?
Mm.
And they know if I happen to say yes, which I may or may not do,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know it's coming with a speech, with a
Mm-hmm.
lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say is, wait a minute, you need me to come over, but you're laying down and you're screwing this guy. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why is this guy there? Okay, and you're calling me. Well, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
leave my house and go work on your shit. You know, they already know that shit is coming. So they're very tiptoe. And when I do go, they
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you know they cook a big meal,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6 pack of beer.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're nice and they're real. That's one thing about them. That's one thing about the females that are around me. And
Mm-hmm.
some of them have some masculine traits with
Mm-hmm.
how they deal with men.
Mm-hmm.
They act like girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get real girly when they come around me.
Mm-hmm. You
Real
got them
girly.
trained. You got them trained. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Pose. Oh snap! I see brother Theron. Brother Theron.
What's good with you, man? You all right?
What's what's good with you, man?
Bro, just I just pulled over, man. I was trying to make sure I made the show. I'm up here north of where you at, in NY, man, up 94.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Pharmaceutical company over here.
now
Was it
I'm actually in North Carolina, but
Glaxo? Are you in it? Oh, you in NY?
no,
NC?
yeah. I'm just in New
Oh,
York a
okay.
lot. That's all.
Oh,
That's
okay,
that's
okay.
always gonna be home, but it's not home right this minute.
Oh, okay. I
Grinding
feel
it
you. I
up with
feel
the
you.
master teacher, you know.
Oh,
Actually
okay.
sitting
How
here, we
y'all
waiting
gentlemen doing
for
tonight?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. How about yourself, bro?
Good.
waiting for BlackRam313 to come on. He just got off, so I'm waiting for him to come and
So how did you get
you
him to
know.
come from the mountaintop out of his cave, man? That's kind of rare.
Well, me and Black Ram actually have a rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Black Ram, we have. I've been listening to his stuff for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been listening to his stuff for quite some time, and me and him, we have a rapport. You know, he shouts my channel out. I shout out some of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've used a few of his clips, you know, in my videos. So yeah. was pretty easy to get him to come on.
Yeah, he reads from the
I
scrolls. I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm with everybody. You know,
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy, Master Teacher. Pretty neutral guy with how I operate. You know, I mean, I have alliances with,
Mm.
but you know, I try not to get in the mud. You know that often. I try to have a pretty decent rapport with pretty much I deal with. You know, I mean, that's how I try to operate. I mean, every now and then, I mean, there has come times where I jump on people,
Yeah.
you know, that were out of context, flat out lies about me and my team, because you know
Mm-hmm.
T.P.O.T is a team. Now, of course, I'm the boss because it's my thing, but we are a team. So, I mean, when people say things about the team, you know, I will react.
Yeah.
Just slide for a little, coming at us, keep coming at us, put the team together, and we will eventually,
Yeah.
you know,
My.
eventually we
I
will.
was telling a woman that had made a response to a video I had, and and she was asking me, could I do a reply? I said, well, you know, my sub said don't allow me to beat up on people anymore. So I would love to do a video reply, but I've been chasing not to. That's what I told her. I'm not allowed to beat up on people anymore, so have to refrain.
Try to stay away from that stuff, Master Teacher. And of course, my man, brother, is in the house.
What's good, man?
Valdez.
To quote my good friend Cerulean, greetings, esteemed brethren.
I was telling everybody Valdez that I went to binge on your channel, man. It was gone.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm not even gonna put it out there over here, but I know who's doing it. I know who's flagging my channel. Man.
No, okay.
I know who's flagging it, and it's sad. It's disappointing because I really thought it was the sisterhood again, but it's not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Y'all already know. You know who I'm beefing with. You know.
Oh.
But
Okay.
you know, it is what it is because it's not. You know, to me, like it's a small thing to a giant. Like I'm gonna still keep. If some get taken down, I'm just gonna put another one up. I don't give a shit. You know. But
yeah. Did you move all your old content to Patreon?
Yeah. The videos that I'm slowly moving them over there. The videos from the new show, putting them over there slowly but surely. And I'm still, and I got a new category over there too for all of the freaking butthurt broads of America that you know. I'm tired of them, man. They're just going ham. Like they've been in my comment section. That's why I thought it was them at first, and it might still be them. Who knows? I don't have any definitive proof, but you know, they was in my comment section mad because that one video about the black men being the new white men of the black community.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that video was like that video. I just now put it private yesterday because it was getting too much negative attention, but that video was at like 120K.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
No wonder. Oh, you picked up a lot of attention.
Wow.
Yeah. So I said, let me just go ahead and tighten up on that. But I was like, in the video I did recently about Jill Scott, I got a lot of shit for that too.
Yeah, but you were on point though. You were on point. So you threw a lot of rocks. You hit a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on point.
But that, you know, that's something that I think a lot of people don't really know about, or at least they do and they don't speak about it.
Yeah.
You know,
nobody's ever put it that way. We in our experience. In fact, X was just talking about the same thing, but it's just the way you put it kind of put shed light on it. So everybody's, you know, I don't think there's too many black men that haven't experienced that, where you have a coven, and they're not all single either. Okay.
No, they're not.
I had to deal with that. I had to do battle with that, man, every day. But that's just I think a coven is just a default situation for black women in Black America.
Yeah, it's like
Well, you
when
know, brother, how
go
it
ahead.
is, man.
Uh,
Them damn graphics is ridiculous. I watched that opening. I watched that shit like 3 times. I'm like, damn,
oh, word.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
shit
yeah,
is
yeah,
super dope right here. That
yeah.
shit make me go in my files. I'm like, damn, I gotta step my shit up.
Oh yeah, he said it's spiffy, boy. And I said that's like Marvel, like, man. He's been
Hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. I've been like, I'm always, you know how it is. I'm always trying to improve it to try to get ahead of the curve on YouTube, because you already know whatever everybody else do on YouTube, we got to do it 900 times better. You know,
Yeah.
whatever
I
the other
I
folks do.
respect that shit because I know what goes into making that stuff. Because you know I do graphics and stuff too, man. I know how time consuming it is, and
Yeah, man.
the way you gotta master audio and layer it, and
Yeah,
man, a lot goes into that. Boy, I commend you, brother. Yeah.
it's tedious. That's why I haven't done a video on the main channel in a couple of days, because it takes so much. Like the new videos that I'm doing where I do a lot of the editing and stuff, man, that shit takes so much freaking time, man. I gotta feel like doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I see my man in here, like, yo, he know too. Like, he over there, I see him over there, he be getting the cameras and shit. So I already know. He over there. What you eating over there?
Who, brother Theron?
Yeah. He over there munching on something.
Ron editing is crisp as hell, man. He knows what goes into this stuff, man. All the editing and audios and the stuff that you don't. A lot of stuff end up on the editing. I mean, a lot goes on, man.
That's tedious, man. Editing is tedious.
So did I came in late. Did Black Ram come through, or
no, but said because he had just got done with a live stream.
Oh,
okay.
So, and so you know what I always do. I always run my mouth. Yes, come on. You know, and I had sent out a few invitations to the brothers, as you can see. The master teacher is here, brother Theron is here, you're here. Lively, you know.
Word.
Don't take up all the time and all the space, you know.
Word. Well, you know,
what's good, brother Theron?
Oh man,
What's good with you, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, you're a little low, man.
Low.
Yeah, you're a little bit low.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, nothing much, man. Just trying to keep up with y'all, man, on the content basis. You know, I'm running anywhere between 400 to 600 miles a day. So I've been pulling out the cameras between that. You know, recording what I need to do, and then you know, editing it, and then, you know, uploading it or whatever as often as I can. So trying to stay on track, man, but I'm in the presence of, you know, greatness. I shut up and listen. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you never know what you could pick up. So that's what I do. I'll be like a fly on the wall. You know.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, man, and for everybody that's listening to this, like, don't let these people who come on YouTube fool you when they try to hit you with the YouTube ain't nothing to that, man. Like, it's a job.
Yeah.
Like, it's work. Like, it's especially if you try like, what makes me mad, and this is why I say you gotta, if you black on YouTube, let's just keep it funky. You gotta be 900 times better, because the average YouTuber, you know, in that sector of YouTube, they might put out a video once or twice a week.
Yep.
And they can maintain their current rate of growth.
Yep.
If I miss a day,
my
shit starts dropping.
Yep.
You know, and that just lets you know that YouTube is not promoting your channel.
Oh yeah. You know,
they
especially lately, since the women actually went nuts and did that stupid stuff. Because the only good thing is that, like I said, it's a boomerang. It actually hit them harder than it hit us.
And see, I'm out of the loop. Has something big happened recently that like is something going on right now?
Or you know what, you got to remember what's going on. This is the holiday season and the holiday advertising, and YouTube, it's a little bit, they tighten the screws just a little bit.
Because they want to be able to put out as much advertising as possible.
It's possible. So basically, if this is a season that that the rates go up, you're going to get paid more. But YouTube is going to be, the advertisers are actually going to looking a little harder than they did last year, because last year they just kind of like opened up the gates, whatever went, everybody was getting paid, which is unusual. But you have a holiday season, so YouTube is actually putting on a little bit more scrutiny, I think. That's just what I think.
Or it's
sending those little digital bot,
Oh yeah, and plus they are tuning that the AI to actually go through it, and I think that certain people are on, like me, you, and a few other folks are on the list anyway.
Oh, we're definitely on the list, man.
because I get the yellow dollar sign, man, within seconds. Yeah,
my joint is on there. If let's say I do a live stream, like if I set the live stream, like if it's 5:30 and I set it for 6, I go in the advanced settings and it's already yellow, and I'll be like, I didn't even do the live stream.
You're on the list.
Yep. Wow. You even starts as a yellow symbol up there.
Wow. Man, so it's become
a combination of YouTube, man. And
so it's become that difficult
nuts.
to make money in the sector?
Well, the thing is that who spends the, especially in the entertainment sector, who spends the most amount of money? It's women, and especially if black women spend 80% of the dollars, on discretionary spending. So that's their market. So if you're tagged with being negative toward black women, you're gonna be on a list. It just is.
Yeah, that's why you gotta I tell any content creator that's a black man, you definitely gotta utilize Patreon. You got to. If you want to make money, you got to utilize Patreon and other sources, because it's ridiculous. I used to make a lot of money off of advertising, off of the AdSense, but now,
the advertisers went bonkers, and then well, I was telling the women at the time when they were doing that stuff, I said, YouTube is, it's not about it's about the advertisers, and if you're negative, if you're coming after us, you're actually bringing attention to yourselves, which is what they did. That's like they can't make any money. They're begging for money because they can't make the money they used to. But they brought attention to a problem that wasn't a problem.
Yep. Because all they had to do was just make their content. We make our content, and we would have went unnoticed.
Unnoticed,
yeah. It is what it is, yeah.
They always gonna run the white. Always going for something. They gotta run. Especially when the big mean black men do something. They gotta run to white papa.
Oh yeah.
Tell.
Yeah. But see, that's the funny thing. They run into him, but he's sick of them too.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I was watching B.G.S. I was binge watching your the videos you were doing about the myth of
white womanhood.
White womanhood. Oh my God. Like that shit was masterful. That's the only way I can describe it. I was just sitting there listening, like, damn, you broke that shit down.
Yeah, because because you have an epiphany, right? You have an epiphany, because you always wonder, what is it? What grudge do they hold? Because every black man knows, even if that woman loves you, when she looks at you, there's just that grudge that she doesn't want to speak on it. But I'm saying there's a grudge that she just has against you. All black women have this certain grudge. It's just something
below the surface.
Below the surface. Yeah, it's always below the surface. You can feel it. And sometimes when they get mad, it really comes out. Even though they love us to death, but there's always that certain low key grudge that they hold against us. And then when I heard I actually read Ron Wills's piece about his encounter with a black woman that ignored him, and then when we just talked to his white friend in a grocery store, all of a sudden she wanted, she was throwing darts at him. And then I actually looked at Marco Jefferson's interview again, because it was about the Black Panthers and civil rights and all that kind of stuff. Well, feminism and all that kind of stuff. And some she said about that black women being valueless in the scheme of America because they don't match up with white femininity. I said, oh man, how you slap your head? I said, oh shit. Oh man, there it is. I said, there it is.
And you know what? Here's the funny. Well, before I say that, Ron Wills is a dangerous man. Let me just say that. But the funny thing about it is I was listening to what you were talking about on the video, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, they are really naive. Like, they really don't understand. We understand it because we're men.
Yeah.
They really don't understand the way white men view just women in general, even white women.
Yes.
Like, they don't realize, like, you're not something that he really cherishes and treasures. You're there for a purpose.
Yes.
That's it. You're just there for a purpose. And they don't even realize, like, you think you got some issues with a brother. Like, you're not gonna be able to get away with none of that shit you do with that dude. Like, he gonna, like, and I told my girl that. I was like, I said something to her about it. I was like, I don't know why black women want to be white women. She kind of doesn't really fall into that category because she also has like the Latin side of her family. So some of it is dispersed a little bit, but
it's still there. It's still there.
It's still there. Yeah, it's definitely still there.
It's just not to the degree.
It's not intensified as it normally would be.
Yeah.
But and I said, yo, you don't realize, like, white dudes are 1,000, maybe even 1,000,000 times more controlling than black men. And I was like, you know how you know that for a fact? You know that because of how comfortable they are killing them.
Yeah.
They're comfortable with that shit. Like, real talk, like, how many white dudes you see that's married with women and they'll let you know off the bat, like, you ain't leaving me, divorce me, and like, some white dudes, they'll take out the whole family.
Yeah. I mean, there's a piece, I gotta find it again because I said I had to record this. Whereas I was actually looking, I think it was a Yale or Harvard, I think it was Yale, demographics professor. He was talking about how in the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries, before the Industrial Revolution actually happened, how white women and white children actually treated and how valueless they actually were. I said I had to pluck that and actually play that as sound because the white womanhood thing and femininity is just that it's a myth.
Yeah.
Miss Anne was, even white women say Miss Anne was maybe less than 10% of the white women. But that is the goal that black women, that's the gold standard that black women shoot for. And they blame us that we can't deliver that gold standard to them.
Well, they're going about it.
No, I mean, what is the gold actually worth, though? You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen everything that you brothers are talking about firsthand in the community that I bounced around to and from between Detroit, Atlanta, Georgia, and everything else, Ohio. I mean, I've seen it, man. White men approach their relationships as business propositions. And their women are treated as property. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them aren't even treated as people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've seen it. Yeah, man, hitting nails right on the heads and targets like a motherfucker, for real.
Well, you miss. Okay, the best. I guess the best image of Miss Anne that I can actually come up with is Scarlett O'Hara. That is the epitome of Miss Anne. If you listen to Margot Jefferson, they're chaste, they're retiring, they're pale, they have light hair, they have light skin, they have light eyes. Scarlett O'Hara was the ideal myth of ideal Miss Anne.
And that was from Gone with the Wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because what he said at the end of that movie perfectly defines white men's attitude towards him. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Right. You're worthless. You're worthless to me. Yep.
Shit. Like if you go back and look at some of those older movies like that, it was commonplace for a white dude to haul off and slap a white woman. Like, it's just bow. Just out of nowhere. And they're talking about, come on, man. Like, they really don't realize. Like, it's just like I said.
Isn't it very unrealistic though? You know, for most, because most, let's be real clear here, man. Most black women will never get to the so-called Miss Anne status, man. They'll never get there. Well, most of them will never even get close.
Well,
they won't even get close.
Well, for one thing, even if
somebody, BlackRam.
Even
you got a headset on, BlackRam, or you on a?
I'm on a mobile phone.
Okay.
Hey, brother, BlackRam313.
Hey, you're the guest of honor, bro. We'll deal with it. It's not too bad. So I was asking X, how did he get you to come off the mountaintop, man?
I told him that me and brother BlackRam have a bit of a rapport, you know. So
I guess so. He doesn't leave his scrolls, man, just for anybody. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, I was listening.
Thanks for having me, Prophet,
tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Prophet of Thought.
We were just talking about the myth of white womanhood.
Oh yeah, that classic, excellent video you put out.
Yeah, I feel like BlackRam and some of the other YouTube gods found a Mount Olympus, and they don't want to share it with the rest of us.
Oh, well, man,
Angryman, you one of the best in the business, man.
Yeah, well, I'm Prometheus, man. They pissed off at me because I bring the torch down, man.
You always read from the scrolls, man.
Yeah, I bring the torch down, man. You brothers don't have to come up, man. I'm always the one bringing the torch down, and the women can't stand that.
You brothers, I put BlackRam, B.G.S, I put y'all right there in one big barrel, man. You know, y'all right there, man.
Oh, we go back, man. We go back.
I like this brother, man. I like his stuff, man. I really respect his stuff, and I listen to his stuff, man, and I learn a lot from him too.
Appreciate that.
Always commenting on his videos and stuff like that. Man, he has good material. His material.
I missed the classic BlackRam when he used to have a piece of paper taped to the wall, man.
Boy is struggling with it, man. Brand new in the game, man. I was just trying to do something with a little video camera.
Yeah, I said that was classic though, man. I missed that, man. That's classic Black. You miss it if you don't go back to the piece of paper on the wall. That's not classic BlackRam.
Well, brother BlackRam, now that we got you here, man, won't you tell everybody, a little bit about, some for the people know who that would exactly be, but it may be some people here who don't, understand your platform, what you do. So won't you just kind of, let people, let them know what BlackRam is all about.
Yeah, appreciate that. First, I just want to say again, thanks for having me, and it's an honor to be on the live stream with you, and an honor to be talking here with B.G.S. Ibmore, professor, and Angryman, one of the best YouTubers out here, always doing the work, always putting out great videos and content, man. You are a light for us all, bro, and we appreciate you.
Appreciate it, bro.
My channel is real simple, man. I sought to understand female nature and the various intricacies associated with it, to take off the veil of the mystique, the myth that is female nature. And then when you uncover it, you realize that it's full of simplicity and it's not anything actually deep at all. So I try to analyze and uncover what it was known as the mysteries of female nature. One of my favorite subject of all time is women. And that's what I seek to do with my channel, just an uncovering of female nature. I've tried to talk about various other topics, but I'm sure, as you know, B.G.S, Ibmore, and Angryman, you know what people want to hear.
Yeah.
So I try to get the people what they hear, man. I try to diversify. But yeah, my channel is mainly about female nature in a nutshell for the most part.
Oh, yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
classic stuff. Classic
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, because you, especially in Chicago, man, where you have to deal with it on a daily basis,
Oh man.
and it's especially the big city, as tight as Chicago is, man. I mean that feminine energy is raw.
Raw
It's
feminine
raw.
energy. And it's almost, I wouldn't say necessarily ground zero, but my goodness, this a tough market here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Very tough market here.
Is that a
I had a
tough
fall in
market?
Chicago.
Well, I'm sure you from California, right, BGS? I'm sure it's tough out there too.
They're a little bit more because we're not on top of each other, like say in Chicago. In Los Angeles, it's kind of spread out and diversified. So they're not as intense. The females are not as intense. They're more. I would say the females in Los Angeles are more. How can I say snooty? Even the ghetto chicks are snooty, a little bit more snooty. Whereas I've met women from Chicago, and it's like they're intense. Okay, I've met chicks from New York, Philly, but there's something different about the women from Chicago. Maybe it's the hawk, the windy weather, and the cold, but it's something that's very upfront and intense about women from Chicago. So dealing with them it's different. Let's put it that way. The ones that I've talked to.
Yeah. Angry Man, where are you from and how was it in your market?
You mean right now or?
Yeah, just right now in the past.
Oh well, I've lived in mad different places, but to me it seems to be, as far as women go, to me it seems to be like it's only little subtle differences. Like the core thing that drives them, it seems to be the same. It seems to be universal.
Oh yeah.
Like everywhere that I've been and interacted with women coming up, every time the argument, like this is what I've noticed. When everything is fine, that's when you see the differences. When the argument happens or the disagreement comes, that's when they all, what I used to say, and I used to get in a lot of trouble for this, I used to say, yo, I feel like they're sharing a brain.
We used to say that we all went to the same women's school when we were small.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as the
hive
mind. Absolutely.
Exactly. The hive mind. But you know what's so funny? I'm glad you actually said that you were trying to unravel what the mystery was about him, and you figured it out, because I've said that to people and they told me I was crazy. They said, "Oh man, you ain't never gonna figure out no." I said, "I have."
They're simple creatures.
They're very simple.
Exactly. It's not complex at all.
It's not complex.
Not complex at all.
Yeah. And we because men thinking that, okay, because she's actually irrational, that there has to be some kind of, in her brain, there has to be a lot of things going on because she's not acting rationally. And all the time we get kind of like mixed up like that when there's a lot of things going on. But
we're trying to, like I told dudes this when I said the reason why you think it's difficult to understand women is because you're trying to make logical sense of a lot of the things they're doing. And once you realize that some of the things they do are not for a logical purpose, it's just an emotional reaction or some, some bullshit, then you'll start, then it'll start to make sense. You'll be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like I said, it's most of that stuff. If you understand that it's emotional, and a lot of that stuff is unconscious.
Yeah.
That what gets men is that women will say one thing out of their logical brain, but they will act out of their emotional brain. And those two things don't always coincide. So they will say something, you get an agreement with a woman, you get it, everything's on paper, she says all the right things, and then she do the opposites. And well, what happened? It's because she has literally two different brains, in her logical brain, her emotional brain, but she acts on her emotional brain.
Yeah. And see, you know what? What confirmed for me that I had figured them out is when I got into an argument and I knew everything they was gonna say before they said it. So I felt like I felt like Neo at the end of the Matrix when the dude when Smith started attacking him and he was just blocking the shit without even looking. it's like, oh no, I know you gonna say that. Nope. Like,
when you get my age, they'll become so predictable that you can actually predict how they're going to react to a stimulus. Just the way, okay, just wait for it. Just wait for it. Okay, she did that. She's getting ready to do that. Okay, she hasn't done that yet, but she's getting ready to say this. She's getting ready to do that. It's like, okay.
I believe it. Because you know what? When I can honestly say, that's why I tell dudes that come to my channel that be like 18, 19, 20. I be like, dude, you just have no idea what, because like when I was that age, I didn't know shit. I was there, women, like my baby mama had me running in circles trying to figure out why she was doing the shit she was doing. You know, I just couldn't grasp it. And I realized that you can't, that's not something that you can't rush that. You can't learn that no way. That's just something you get with time. You can't like just be like, okay, let me go to this school and learn this. Because even if somebody tells you, like even if an old head tells you, you can't comprehend it. Because I never forget, I was in the ale house shooting pool one day, and I was complaining about something I was going through. And the old head, he probably like in his 50s, and you know, he was shooting pool shark, and he was just listening to me talk. He listened to my whole rant about women. And when I got finished, he said, you know what your problem is, young blood? And I think I told this story before. He said, you know what your problem is, young blood? I said, what's that? He said, you take women too seriously. That's all he said. And I was like, oh shit. And I didn't comprehend it then, but I definitely comprehend it now.
Yep. Even my mother, she's 80 years old, and I can pretty much tell what she's getting ready to do next.
You know what, man? I'm listening to y'all brothers talk, man, and I can't really say that I've ever paid that much attention to it. I was told by, and I shouldn't really say this, an old pimp. Pimp. You know what I'm saying? He told me straight up, man, do what you do, and they'll follow suit. You know
yeah.
All of that. All of that arguing and disagree, baby. Hold up. I pay the costs. I pay the bills. I run shit. All of that is not. I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? They've all been the same with me from Pennsylvania all the way to Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Even overseas. I ain't never had none of them issues.
You know when the arguments stop. You know when you get get past where you get when the arguments actually stop, we start telling them why they do it.
But you know what? What the brother just said, I've known cats like that, and I wished oh my God, I wish I used to wish I could be like that. But you know what my flaw is? My problem is I actually get a kick out of dissecting and understanding human nature. So it's too enticing. Like it's too enticing to not engage in the discussion or the argument because I want to hear what's going to be said so that I can dissect it. And it's like it's like a catch-22 because if I, because my pops isn't like that. My pops wasn't like that. My grandfather wasn't like that. My grandmother told me that she could start arguing with my grandfather. He would put his hands in his pocket, start whistling, and walk smooth out the damn door.
That's me.
Didn't say a word. I was like, how did he do that? It's like the Jedi mind trick.
Because at the end of the day, she needs you, and you know it.
Word.
And at the end of the day, you have basically it's like being in a poker game, in a card game, had the big joker. At the end of the day, you had the big joker.
Word.
And she knows it. Yeah.
True. True.
But go ahead, jump in, Ram, because this is your show. It's your gig.
Yeah, just as a young man, I started to notice patterns of behavior. And then I realized that women always do things in a consistent pattern.
Yep.
And noticing that, it's like you giving like a key to understanding, man. And it just makes you just more aware and more able to handle things that come at you. There's an old saying that past behavior is the best indicator of future behavior. And people really don't change all that much. So when you realize and you know that, hey, what I'm dealing with, when you look at her history, that'll tell you everything need to know about her present and about her future, man. And for me, it's powerful. Like B.G.S talked about that, being able to predict their
Yep.
behavior.
Yep.
And I think to even the playing field, because for so long, being in America, we've been kept in the dark about female nature. I mean, social scientists, psychologists, all ponder these things, and they say, oh, that's one thing, one mystery you can't understand. But only in our community, man, only in our community have we unraveled the mythos that is woman. And I think that although we understand it in this simplest terms, we understand that the mystique is gone, you still got the blue pill world who have no understanding of these things. My point is, it's great to be standing in such a community where there is no more mystery, no more mystique. Beautiful thing.
Yeah, for the blue pill world to work, the mystery of the woman has to be maintained, because once you look at her, you can't. Once you understand, you can't look at a woman the same way. You just can't.
So it's like, is that to say like you don't take her seriously at all?
I, basically, you know all her flaws. You know her flaws. Basically, you know what she's thinking. You know where the flaws come from, and you have to learn how to love her a different way. Because she's no longer special. You have to love her, and you have to love her as a human being rather than as a woman.
Yeah.
And that's something that we as men do. We love her in spite of all her flaws.
Right.
That's one thing that a woman can never give you. That's
No.
never reciprocated. You're a
Can't
human being, human doing, not a human being. She
Yeah.
can't say, you know what, I love this man regardless. No, she only look at you as an idol. But our hearts are so big, man, that we can love her despite of all her shortcomings, all her failings, all her rebelliousness against us, and still choose to love her anyhow. Nobody has a heart like that. And that's overlooked, that men have huge hearts. And we are the real romantic. We're the real lovers. They are the receiver of all these things. They're not the givers. But we're the ones that's really romantic and really loving. They have no clue what it means to love somebody. They may have a semblance of that with their children,
Yeah.
only a little bit, but other than that, no clue.
Yeah.
No
Because
clue about self-sacrifice at all.
everybody else looks at
Let me,
the black woman and says, why do you guys love these women? Basically. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that sound like my ex-girlfriend. She was Brazilian or whatever. For the life of me, she couldn't understand it. Why do you like American women?
Yep.
She didn't care if they was black or white. She just didn't care. She didn't get it. She didn't get it at all. But
And that is our addiction, isn't it? That we love her and whom is most unworthy of our love and affections. And I think that's the addiction. I think as men we have a real addiction to women and their validation and their love.
We've been conditioned, we've been imprinted and conditioned by our mothers to accept certain behavior, and it took a long time to understand why you were, why women that actually behaved well, because it took me a while. Women that actually behaved well were actually soft to me until I got into my 30s and realized, I said, okay, the reason that women have to have a little bit more aggression for me is because that's how my mother was, and the women around me were. So we get a woman that's more meek and more soft and more, what is it, for lack of a better term, feminine. It was unusual. It was unnatural to me.
damn, bro, you know what? It's funny. I hear you say that. You know, my mother's the first person I ever saw knock somebody out. That's why I knew her body went stiff and not limp. She's the first person I ever saw. This was this was before Tyson. She was a cop in Detroit for like 5 years.
Shit.
Oh shit.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So when she was going through the police academy, we used to go up there and box at Crump. You know, I was over there, you know, I was getting my hands wrapped up, you know what I'm saying? And she got in the ring with her and her partner, dude named Lee. Anyway, man, you know, she dancing around, man. Next thing I know, I saw her hit her with that toothpiece. Ass was out. I was like, yeah, body stiffed up. I was like, damn, so that's what happens when you get knocked out. Yeah. Yep, she knocked somebody out.
I forgot you was from the D, fam. I can hear that shit all in your voice.
Oh yeah, dog, yeah. Yeah, man, yeah. So,
yeah, that's one thing we in our culture, man. We have some very masculine women, man. It's almost scary. Growing up, I used to see a lot of women beat the hell out of boys, believe it or not, man. And it was an amazing phenomenon.
Yeah, that's why, you know what was crazy about that is like when I was coming up, it wasn't until I got older that I heard people say, oh, you're not supposed to put your hands on a woman. And I remember thinking to myself, where I come from, if you let a woman jump on you, she gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna get your ass beat. Like, it's not like she gonna run at you and be, you know how somebody run at you and they're slapping. You know how the white girls fight, they be slapping at you and shit.
Yeah.
No, she gonna step up to you, throw them bolos up, and she gonna start swinging like Tyson.
I had my daughter on the focus miss when she was 5. So yeah, that's how they run it.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm not saying, and I'm not saying you gotta go and try to knock a chick out, but you definitely gonna have to put your guards up and try to block something.
Oh yeah.
Especially if she know what a jab is in the right hand. She know what a jab is. You got problems.
Oh yeah.
If she can slip that jab, you better be on point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
For real.
Reminds me that what's her name, dude? That chick at the train station. She told that dude, "You ain't got no freedom, boy." She ate them punches.
Yeah, brother Xavier just texted me. He said he's having trouble with his mic.
Okay.
Yeah,
man. You know, because I remember the imprint was always there's a certain sector of guys that don't believe that imprint is real, and I remember the video you did a BlackRam, the Strumpet's Tale.
Yeah.
And you actually went through it, man, step by step, what she was like, what kind of guy she got imprinted by, her next boyfriends, and then she tried to break the pattern and she couldn't, and she went back to the same kind of guys and said, that's exactly the imprint. That's exactly how it goes down.
It is an imprinting because the female, as we know, even from an esoteric standpoint, she's designed to be a receiver. I look at a woman as having like an antenna. If you want to know what frequency we are on, if you want to know what's going on with society, you take a woman's temperature to tell you everything you don't need to know about society. And when it comes to her personal life, she lives in a pattern. Women repeat the same pattern over and over and over, and that's the imprint. In fact, it's a never-ending cycle, and you've proved it in many, many ways, in various different, how can I say, forms that the imprint is real. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like I said, as the blue pill guys and women refuse to believe that it's real. I tell women, I said, if anybody should believe it and be cautious of the imprint, it should be women.
You know why they don't believe it, B.G.S? Because it's, for them, it's like, for us it's obvious, but for them it has a whole range of meaning. Because if we're saying that a woman can be imprinted, and it's almost, I'm not saying absolutely impossible, but the norm is that's the pattern she's going to go through for the rest of her life, we're basically saying that once she's programmed, then that's it. Which that's the case. But once she's programmed, so it really leaves a blue pillar in a female with like almost no hope. Now think about somebody who's taking a hard imprint. We live lives in the ghettos, man, that it really has, it really bears weight on you. It's different than growing up in a hood than growing up in middle class suburban America. So when a woman is really in the hood, and that first taste she gets of the D is that gangster, that thug, man, that's almost impossible to break. And especially if she in those communities. So you take her at 35 and 40 years old, Of course she gonna like the same thing. Of course, at 40 years old, she's gonna be after the 20-year-old thug because she's been imprinted so heavily. It's hard to break through that. So
Yeah.
what you're not giving people any hope, BGS, when you tell them the truth like that. You know,
Well, you know
nobody
what?
wants to hear.
You know what? And this is something that also doesn't. It never wants to be acknowledged. And every time I say something about it, people get mad at me for saying it. I even had Turd Flinging Monkey kind of take a shot at me one time on Obsidian Show because I mentioned something about it. Whether people want to believe it or not, in the hood, the thug or the drug dealer or the alpha, he's king. Like
Yes.
he's literally king.
Yeah, from the 19 I would say from 1982 on, yeah, he's been king.
He's king. He's not, and it doesn't matter that he doesn't, you know, that he doesn't have an Ivy League education or he doesn't have this or that shit don't matter because it's something that's more primal.
It is primal. Yeah, it is primal, and it's like I said, the imprint. You can actually see it by the type of TV shows that women actually watch. If it's a black dude that she falls in love with, he's gonna have to have edge to him.
Like,
You know,
like when you think of go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
When you see one of the reasons why all these women are in love with Idris Elba is because of The Wire.
Yeah.
Women, you know, so they fell madly in love with him because of that edge he had. Women are primal because women are, at the end of the day, let's be honest, they're acting off instinct. They're animal-like. I know that some people have a problem with that, but they're animal. They function on instinct. That's why we can rationalize, analyze, and strategize. She's completely programmed by her biology, completely charged by her biology, and the head of her biology chief is her emotions. And,
You back, X? Try your mic. Okay, it's not yet. Continue, Ram.
yeah, so she's completely primal. And so when we try to analyze a woman and we try to look at her as being a rational being, you're gonna miss out. Because she's, like you said, she's completely primal. That's why she's so attracted to that thug, because he's going off his primal instinct. Which is protection, meanness. I want to be with the biggest man, the so-called alpha man. I'm gonna be with the one who she thinks can protect her. The folly with that, B.G.S, Angryman, and everybody else on the panel, the problem with that is that she believes because he can't pull his pants up and he walk a certain way and he can't speak proper English, that makes him a protector. As if a man who is the opposite of that is different. And let me tell you something, because my brother from Detroit, we know about boxing. I boxed a little bit. I'm not saying I was all that great, but I sparred a little bit. You know how to throw it. You know how to put a right hand behind that jab. I guarantee you that can be 99.9% of any thug walking down the street. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know how to just properly place that right hand behind that jab. You know how to throw a left hook. You know how to bottom weave a little bit. You got any training in that. You know a thug, the first thing he's going to do, he's going to throw from all the way down south. As you, first thing you learn in boxing, the quickest way to a point is a straight. Straight line. Right? Straight line, right? So it ain't that the thug is so tough, it's the mystique behind it. And it's a myth. It's like you got the myth of females, you got the myth of thugs, man. Because most of these guys ain't tough. Without a gun in their hand, what they can't shoot, and they can't throw their hands.
You know
So it's
what?
all a persona.
But you know what? The only problem with that is in a lot of the hoods, especially like in New York, some asshole would always open a boxing gym and give free boxing lessons. So everybody on the block would have like some little bit of boxing skill. That was the only messed up part.
That's true.
I don't know, man. I didn't seen both sides of the track, man. I didn't been that dude or whatever that was. I used to be really out here one time, and I mean, like, for real. But I'm like, 12, 13 years removed from that, you know what I'm saying? And like now it's like the same chicks or whatever when I go home, which is not often, you know what I'm saying? The ones that used to run up behind me, now that I'm running my business, I bought my truck, I'm working on my second truck beginning of next year. You know what I'm saying? It's just different for me right now, but I'm more focused or whatever on the positive, man, not the negative, man. And this just seems like the females or whatever, they are. I'm not gonna say they're not interested. The ones that stick around long enough to actually see what I'm about, yeah. But usually I leave them attention starved, man, because I don't really study them too much. I can't even begin to all that emotion shit, man. I've been lost my damn mind and shit. All that, oh, you crying? What are you crying for? If you can't give me a straight answer, I'm like, okay, so what, you want to go do something? I mean, what? You know what I'm saying? That's me though.
But you know what? I will say this though, as you know, going back to what Black Ram was asking me, as women go, Detroit chicks are some of the coolest chicks, yo.
Oh yeah.
They're some of the most laid back chicks. I will give them that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I got a, huh?
No,
Go ahead,
my daughter's mother's from Detroit, and I think she gonna go ahead and be the one, man. You know what I'm saying? She put in her time, put in the work. She deserved it. You know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
I can't even like fathom trying to put a ring on a chick finger or whatever, man. You gonna bring your sideline ass on the front line and think you about to get something? Nah, dog.
and see, you see my point. He just verified what I said. You see my point. You see how highly he was just speaking of his kid's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of cats can't do that. A lot of cats can't do that, man.
Yeah. I mean, she knew her. I mean, you know, she graduated from Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? She actually made me go to college, man. I wrestled at Clarion University, played ball out there, transferred to Arizona State, went to Wayne State. I was in the nursing program. I tried the college thing, man, but I had a problem with fast money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my
That-
problem. I ended up getting kicked out of the nursing program at Henry Ford, and I was going into my psych rotation and my peds rotation at Oakwood Medical Center, man, and messed around, caught a case. So you know, I had to go. You know, it was wild, but I brother bounced back. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here, man. I'm out here, dog. You feel me?
Yeah. A partner of mine used to tell me to beware the high cost of low living.
You ain't lying. That shit is costly, boy. Dudes out here, man, flipping that cake real quick, man. They don't think, man, them years will cost you. You gotta go sit down. Them years cost you for real. For real. So yeah, you right. You right about that. I learned that shit the hard way, but I learned.
Man, I had a reality check when I was like 20 something. I went to court, and I was lucky enough to walk out of the courtroom, and there was nobody there to pick me up because my kid's mother had the car, and I walked from the freaking jail back home, which was a minute. And so I had a lot of time to think, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, damn, I got to pay the rent. I ain't got no job, and I definitely can't keep doing what I'm doing because I just came out of the courtroom. There's a wake up call, like
you were thinking, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers don't think that way. They said, I'm out, so how can I make some money right now? So
shit, I
was straight. I was good. I was trying to work my way through school. That was the crazy part. I ain't want no loans. So I was like, man, I'm gonna make it do what it do. So I'm cashing out every semester, and it was working until, and I was like, dog, I'm straight. I'm good, bro. I'm straight. When they locked me up, man, and I was supposed to go get my daughter that Monday, and I couldn't leave. I'm like, for real? Oh no, dog, I can't do this again. I'm straight. I wasn't even mad I was locked up. I was mad I couldn't go get my daughter. So
yeah, you never think you're gonna get caught. This whole thing.
Yeah. And I ain't think so either. I really didn't.
No, you never do. Yeah, never do. Okay.
Always somebody telling. Always somebody telling.
Well, the thing is, there's always a trail, and you don't realize the trail until afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a trail.
Now, B.G.S, when I first came into the chat, you all were talking about your video, the myth of white womanhood. Actually, video too, man, classic. What were you guys? I came in at the tail end, of course. What were you guys saying about that?
We were saying that we're actually, when you actually came in on it, we're talking about the classic Miss Ann, which I said the classic Miss Ann is Scarlett O'Hara, because Miss Ann was the there's always a story about Miss Ann. You know, anybody that's grown up, if you guys might be a little bit too young to remember, but when black women, especially black women that were domestics, talked about white women, they always called her Miss Ann. man always had the big house,
Yeah.
and she had the shiny kitchen, and that's where the maids went to clean up the house and take care of the kids and cook the food, all that kind of stuff. So all the women that were domestics and stuff like that, they always taught their daughters, look, don't be like me, be like Miss Ann. In other words, that's the way you want to live, that's where you want to be, that's the kind of husband you want to have, on and on and on. So basically, that is where the myth of white womanhood comes from. In other words, if you can be like that, be like her, that's the reason you get an education, so you can actually take care of yourself, take care of your children. And basically, if you get lucky, you can land a husband like Miss Ann. You can live the lifestyle like Miss Ann, because even going all the way back to after Reconstruction, when W. Du Bois was writing about the Philadelphia Negro, the black women could always find jobs being a domestic or washing clothes or something like that. And what she wanted to be is to be that white woman. In fact, Sojourner Truth said the same thing. When the white men said that women need to be helped over mud puddles and ride in carriages and that kind of stuff, and what did Sojourner Truth said? Nobody ever helped me over ditches and mud puddles and had me and riding in fine carriages and being taken care of. In other words, even back then, that's what they wanted. In fact, Margot Jefferson said the same thing. That is femininity. That is the standard of femininity.
Absolutely.
So that's I call that.
What happens when you're able to provide all that and it's not enough though?
Because at the end of the day, you still won't be recognized with white femininity because you're not white. They won't look at you the same way. That's like Beyonce still talks about, even though Beyonce, she's classic, even though she is worth like $500 million and she lives better lives than 99.9% of white women. Okay, she still talks about Becky with the nice hair, with the good hair. She still talks about those blue-eyed white women because she is not white. She cannot reach it, no matter how hard she tries, no matter what the man provides for her.
Yeah, she wants that overall. She wants that overall validation
Can
and
anybody
social.
hear me now?
Yes, sir. We sure can.
Okay. Damn. What is going on over here at the old T.P.O.T. headquarters, y'all? Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell was happening, man.
Yep. Continue, Ram.
Continue, brother. Black Ram.
She wants that overall social validation and social acceptance. So it's not just enough just to have the money. I think the jealousy of the black woman and the white woman is that the white woman is the beacon of white society. She is, how can I say it, the prize. She is the standard of beauty. So black women want to be adored worldwide like the white female. If you look at Asian culture, you can look at all the cultures around the world. All women want to look European. And this is why Keisha from the hood wears the blonde hair. Because she wants that same social acceptance and validation that the white woman has. She wants to be a white woman. Let's just be honest, man.
She wants to be a white woman. Yes.
But you know what's funny? What's funny about that is the same type of dudes we was talking about a few minutes ago, like Ray Ray and Pookie. There is genuinely a Pookie or a Ray in the hood right now that genuinely does not feel inferior to a white man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I agree with that.
And he ain't got shit. He ain't even got he ain't even got $200 in the bank.
Yeah. Because men are measured on a different scale than women are. Women are vessels, and they're measured on their you purchase a vessel, okay? Men purchase vessels, and men purchase objects, and women validate themselves on being the most valuable object.
But you know what? I think it goes even deeper than that. I think in addition to that, black men have accepted the fact that we're viewed a certain way and we're gonna have to live life a certain way. I think we as black men have come to grips with that, and we just look at it like, okay, well, fuck it, it just is what it is. I'm gonna just do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all I do is my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the majority of them, you know what I'm saying, they follow suit. But I mean, I haven't, I guess, necessarily ran across I guess as far as like providing or having issues to provide, and I ain't bragging or nothing like that, man. Don't say it like this, and I'll be the first to tell you do not do what the fuck I did because what I did was wrong. But man, I made my first $500,000, man, when I was 23 years old.
Okay. Oh, well, you's out there
So,
then.
oh dog, when I tell yeah. So the thing about it is that as far as you know what I'm saying, like the Pookie and all that Ray shit, I had them niggas working for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just it's just, I wanted more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer, man, and hustle will always outlast intelligence. That's how I think because I've always hustled. You know what I'm saying? I applied the same principles as I did when I was in the street as I do right now as I'm driving trucks. The same principles. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. I mean, I feel what y'all saying, man, as far as like vessels and there needs to feel valued or whatever. But I mean, I like to think that I look out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I'm around, but I'm not about to sweat you for shit. That's not what I do. That shit is not in my DNA.
But it's
Yeah,
not. See,
yeah,
go
but
ahead.
I was gonna say basically what I didn't actually make the series for women. I actually made it for men, so that you could understand that what she's talking about when she looks at you that way. That it's not about you. You
Yeah,
know,
it's not.
it's not about how you see her. It's about how she sees herself because she measures herself as far as how the white man sees her, not how you see her. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
but that is. Go ahead.
And let me say this. Let me say this, BGS. Not only
Mhm.
does she measure herself based off of how the white man sees her, the one reason why she resents us so much is that she is judging you and
Mhm.
me and all black men based off white male standards.
Yes.
So they looking at the white man saying, "Well, why come you don't own the power structure that
Yes.
they own?" They don't look at it in light of us being oppressed or discriminated against, or
No.
I'm gonna just go out and say it like this: defeated.
Yes.
So she's gonna judge you based off of white male standards and expect you to meet those criterias, to
Mhm.
expect you to have what the white male has to give her what the white woman has,
Yes.
which